Bluetooth Low Energy, which you've probably heard of, came out around 8 years ago now. I can still create those direct connections between devices, but it's very, very power efficient. Devices can run off small batteries for years. And I can also broadcast data. So one Bluetooth Low Energy device can communicate with potentially thousands of other devices all at the same time, provided they are in range. So Bluetooth got more useful to developers with that new type of Bluetooth, those new capabilities. And then if we go back 18 months, Bluetooth Mesh, which was the subject of my talk last year, was released. And Bluetooth Mesh is all about creating networks of tens of thousands of devices for things like smart buildings. And range is not a constraining factor. Messages bounce across the network, relaying from device to device, so you can kind of encompass very large areas with the Bluetooth Mesh network. So it's a story of evolution. Bluetooth has continually changed throughout the years, through the projects that we run under our kind of umbrella responsibility. And at each step it's got more and more useful for developers looking to innovate in their products and so on. Now, as a consequence of that, it's been doing quite well. In the first year that products were really available, there were about 800,000 devices that shipped in that entire year. These days, it's 10 million every day. It's like 4 billion a year, and that number is not settling down. It grows every year. Presumably one day it will reach a plateau and things will settle down, I don't know, but no sign of that happening yet. Now, one of the consequences, or one of the causes even of that, is that Bluetooth, with its phenomenal capabilities and the fact that it is so ubiquitous, it gets adopted by every platform that you might develop applications for. And probably a couple of years ago now, I heard about this thing called Web Bluetooth, and this was a new set of APIs that allowed you to exploit Bluetooth communications from within a web browser. It's for web applications to exploit. And I thought, this looks very interesting. This is different. This is not like a native application installed on a smartphone. This is the web and Bluetooth coming together. So I've been a bit of a champion of the technology for a while, and that is what I'm going to talk to you about today. Who here has never heard of Web Bluetooth before? You were just kind of bored, you wanted somewhere to sit down, so you wandered into this room. It's one person, okay. So it's an API, let's start there, and it lets web developers use JavaScript to discover, connect to, and interact with Bluetooth devices that are in range. I'll tell you more about that. You're looking puzzled already, but don't worry, all will become clear, I hope. And if not, come talk to me afterwards. So I'm going to start here. I think if you talk to most people about Bluetooth, they probably associate it with consumer products, consumer electronics, that kind of thing. Maybe they've got Bluetooth headphones, maybe they have an activity tracker that uses Bluetooth Low Energy, so their personal experience of Bluetooth is most likely to have been in the world of the consumer. But things have been changing, and as a consequence, I think, of some of the changes in that evolutionary path that Bluetooth has followed, Bluetooth is beginning to feature more and more in enterprise applications. And there are lots of things that have been changing, but I picked a few of them there. And it's Bluetooth's prevalence in smart buildings and smart industry, thanks to the range being so large now. It's like a kilometre since Bluetooth 5 was released, so range is nothing like what it used to be. It's like 10 metres 20 years ago, now it's 1,000 metres. Bluetooth Mesh, of course, is there, which opens the door to all sorts of completely new applications. And location services is an interesting kind of alternative use of Bluetooth that we perhaps don't talk about enough. Who here knows what a Bluetooth beacon is? Only one person. So I'm going to do this a lot, okay? I'm going to get you to raise your hands. It's going to get annoying after a while, okay? Just ignore me. So Bluetooth beacons are just small Bluetooth devices that broadcast a unique number, and an application running on a device which is in range of one of these broadcasting devices can match the number to a database and go, that's the beacon that was installed next to the Van Gogh painting in the art gallery or something. Okay, so you can determine location through proximity with a particular broadcasting device. It's a very simple idea, but Bluetooth beacons have been adopted very, very widely. We're expecting about 550 million beacons to ship in the year 2021, just that 1 year. They're all over the place. So this is basic location services using Bluetooth. However, and I'm going off topic slightly here because this has nothing to do with Web Bluetooth, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, we released a new core specification version 5.1 of Bluetooth, and its key new capability is direction finding. It lets you determine the direction a signal is coming from very, very precisely. And in fact, you can measure multiple angles. So you could measure, for example, the angle of a signal on a horizontal plane and the angle of that same signal on a vertical plane. That's called elevation. And where those two lines cross, that's where an object or a person is. So very accurate location finding to within 10 centimeters, that kind of thing is possible with that new capability. So location services, mesh networking, longer range, all those sorts of things have made it much more attractive to enterprise applications. So Bluetooth is kind of broadening the types of use case that it's suitable for.